Hello, I'm Geoff Crenshaw, and you're listening to Heavy Set Go. Alan, it may not be any surprise to you, isn't here today. He was here last time, by the grace of God, but he is not here this time. I'm not surprised, although I'm a little heartbroken. The real surprise is Ben isn't here. I had intended for him to be here, and I think he did too. But we are recording this on Monday, and Ben apparently thought it was Sunday. So, he's not here. But we do have a very special guest to help fill the void, at least half the void of two people. He is a pretty accomplished actor. He's played everyone from Charlie Brown to Shep Gordon to Lou Adler to Harvey Milliken. He has been acting in various forms probably as long as I've been alive. The last possibly the last 25, 20, 24, 25, 26 years. Yeah. About a decade in film. Mr. West Ramsey, how are you doing, West?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. So, what was your first acting job?
My first acting job?
Yeah, like any
Probably grammar school, playing something in some show. I don't know. Like,
I gotcha.
Actually, my very first community theater production was Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
Yeah, I did murder mysteries before that. I had audience participates in murder mysteries. But that was my very first big production. And it was in a small town called Jackson, and it was in an outdoor amphitheater that sat 300 people. It was really fun.
Nice. Tell me, what was it like actually executing that football trick with Lucy? Do you remember falling on your back?
Yeah. I
it?
do that a lot anyway. I mean, pratfalls, stage pratfalls. Yeah.
Did it hurt? Like,
No.
Did you ever hit your head?
No.
No?
No. The weirdest thing about that show is, because it was an outdoor amphitheater, I was doing a monologue at the front of the stage, and the little girl one day came up and started rubbing the hair on my legs.
What? Really?
Yeah, her parents had to come and get her. I just ignored that she was there. I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I'll just ignore that. I'm like, it's hard to play off that one. I'm like,
get away from me! You're ruining my performance.
No. They got her. I was like, oh wow, there's a little kid rubbing my leg. Like,
that's really awkward. It was a long time ago, but like, what was it like playing such a? I think everyone there have been on the screen some like beloved adaptations of Charlie Brown and some less beloved, but I think almost 100% of everyone loves like the source material, the Peanuts comic strip. What was it? What was it like playing? Or like, what was it like getting to be Charlie?
That's one of my favorite roles. I'd actually like to reprise that role because I always cast it with adults. I actually tried to audition for a show here in town, and it didn't actually happen. It's another story. I was known for Charlie Brown for years. People called me Charlie Brown everywhere I went.
Wow, hey, Charlie Brown.
The reviewer, something along the lines of exceptional acting or something about perfect typecasting or a combination of both, because they're like, that is Charlie Brown, he is Charlie Brown. I'm like, no,
wow.
I'm not. I'm like, I can relate to Charlie Brown, but I'm not Charlie Brown.
I think everyone who was ever a kid can relate to Charlie Brown.
Of course, yeah.
Because Charlie Brown is just the physical embodiment of all the securities every kid probably feels that when they're growing up.
Yeah.
But I was in a theater program. Was your play You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown?
Yes.
I remember I was in a theater program when I was 10 and 11, so that was like 2000 and 2001. And I think it was the first year I was in the play because the way it was children's educational theater in Salem.
Okay.
And the way it worked was there would be a few. There'd be the main big production, like your Anne of Green Gables or your Wizards of Oz's, and then there'd be like smaller
Yeah.
plays, probably stuff that was written by administration of this program or what have you. The first year, they had a production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown at Waterfront Park in Salem,
Okay.
and it was pretty fun to watch. I don't remember it that clearly, honestly, because I was 10 years old, but I remember it was right after, not right after, but fairly shortly after Charles Schultz died, because this production was You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and then a tribute to Charles Schultz.
Ah.
And they had Charles Schultz as a character. I don't know if that was part of the part of your production as
I don't
well.
think so.
They must have retooled it to fit him in more, to make it more centered on him,
Yeah.
to pay tribute or something. But it was good. What other, like, in your pre-film theater career, what other plays did you do?
I've done plays. You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, The Importance of Being Earnest.
Oh, who were you in that?
Jack Worthing.
Jack Worthing.
Ernest, basically. Not the Ernest. Yeah. It's a convoluted script.
I need to read that again. I loved it when I was in high school.
I did Harvey. I played Elwood in Harvey, which was amazing. I auditioned for the part of the doctor, and the director insisted that I play Elwood, and so I play Elwood. I have this really cool picture of me and my rabbit up in my house, painting. Did musical theater, did Oklahoma, did Fiddler on the Roof, both as a townsman, and then I played Model Camzoil in one production.
Which character was that?
Model, oh geez, the sewer.
Gotcha.
The sewer. He was betrothed to the second daughter, I think. I don't know. I've done a lot of shows. Most recently, I've done really fun plays in Portland.
Oh yeah.
Working with Dylan Hellerman that runs Guignol Fest. First year we did a play he wrote called Headless Body and Topless Bar.
It's a talented dude.
I got to play a corporate lawyer who was married with kids who had like this secret thing going on that involved one of the strippers in an enema bag. It was lots of fun.
Wait, what?
There's like this whole scene where they open up my briefcase. I was like, what's this? Oh, it's an enema bag. What's this for? How do you use it? I'm like, well, yeah. They have this thing about enemas and, being clean and stuff.
Was this based on something that happened to Hillerman?
No. Headless Body was based on a famous headline, and then it was turned into a movie of sorts, but he's changed it up quite a bit. And then the year after that we did Terror at Angel's Horn, which was a noir sci-fi musical with live music and stuff that was off the hook.
That sounds great.
And then last year we did both shock opera, The Unauthorized Story of Alice Cooper, which we're also doing again this Friday the 21st at Analog Cafe at 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did Plan 10 from Outer Space, which Dylan was in. He didn't write, which was the sequel to the film Plan 9 by Ed Wood.
Oh, yeah, loved.
Which is a really fun show. And a lot of his shows are multimedia. It's like they have film involved. There's burlesque in them. There's live music. There's a lot going on. They're fun shows.
That sounds like a pretty good. I saw the dress rehearsal for
shock opera.
I didn't. In the dress rehearsal, they didn't have the videos available.
No, they didn't. Unfortunately, yeah.
I didn't get the full experience, but it was clear things were still coming together when I watched it. But I could already tell it was a highly entertaining show.
Yeah. And
I think
the flying drone, the dead baby drone is friggin' awesome.
I don't know if I remember that.
I don't think they had it that day because they didn't have that number. There's a Dead Babies burlesque number in there where Shep gets blood poured down the front of his shirt during the number.
I would have remembered that.
But there's a drone with a baby head with glowing eyes that flies through the audience. That's awesome. We also had a drone in Plan 10. It was a flying saucer that flew through the audience.
Really?
Yeah, it was a Pi 10. It was
That sounds
cheesy sci-fi.
that sounds great actually.
It was fun. They recorded it. Eventually, they'll all be online.
Uh, you almost suffocated on a bag on stage once.
Headless Body, yeah.
Headless bot. So what exactly happened?
In Headless Body and Topless Bar, there's a scene. The whole premise of the show is this guy comes into a strip club, he robs it, he shoots the bartender, and he holds everybody captive. So towards the end, as he's getting ready to make his exit, he basically ties plastic bags around all of our heads so that we suffocate and he leaves. So they didn't really tie the bags that tight around our heads, but apparently, I guess they did that night, and there were holes in the bags. I think there was one night there wasn't a hole, or the hole didn't hit my head right, but I literally couldn't breathe, and I started to struggle, really trying to make it obvious that I was having a problem, and they caught it, and they came up and they ripped open the bag, so it was all good. I could breathe again. It was just a scary. I'm like, yeah, it's like, how far do you go as an actor to try not to break character? You know? It's like, I'm just gonna struggle and make. Hopefully, they're gonna get that this is really kind of real for a minute.
That guy is doing a great job.
Because I was like, yeah, I don't want to black out. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a very awkward.
It's a fun story.
Absolutely. There is a point that comes where your physical well-being should be put before the authenticity.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, I broke my arm on a film shoot.
Really?
I was doing a senior thesis project down in Santa Cruz years ago. It was a Western film. We shot on the school grounds, and at the evening we went to this field with this hill, and hey, let's reshoot that shot from this morning. Let's have you run down this hill. All right, cool, let's do that. I was in cowboy boots. We didn't walk at first, and the grass was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet high, and so I go running down this hill, and all of a sudden I hit this spot that was really steep, and I just tumbled. And I knew I hurt my arm. I knew it was not feeling well. I did not realize it was broken. We finished shooting there.
So it was like a hairline, not a big
Well, I mean, it was kind of swollen, and I couldn't move it a whole lot. But we still had to shoot that night and the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and I checked into my hotel, and I iced it, and I went back and shot that night, and then I went and shot the next day, and then I drove home, and then I called my doctor, and I made an appointment, and I went and got it fixed, sort of.
Did you have to wear a cast?
I had a sling on for quite a while, for a bit. But it was like, it's a senior thing. I'm like, if I leave now, he'll never finish his film, and this is a senior project. I can't just walk away. You know,
like, graduate.
It's not like I'm dying. You know?
That's kind of like the Herzog approach.
You know, I'm like, what's gonna happen if I wait a day? If I'm like, yeah.
Well, that's really selfless of you. Like,
well, it's
if
that
broken arm,
whole.
I'd be freaking out.
I think it's the theater mentality of let's put on a show, and it's like nothing stops a show from going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, unless somebody's like deathly ill, falling down, it's like the show always goes on. And I feel the same way about film, and like, 'cause if there's a way I'm gonna be there and make it happen, it's gonna happen. And I'm like,
oh yeah, and I think. Maybe less so in a situation where he's faced with a deadline, but I think on like a regular, low budget, no budget shoot, if you have something that serious happen to you, people would probably be more understanding about it.
Yeah, well, no, like, we didn't realize it was broken. I mean, it was not a thing. I mean, I mean, obviously it was hurt, but yeah, it worked out. But, you hear horror stories of things that happen on independent films, and it makes you kind of leery.
Mm.
It's like you're asked to do a lot sometimes in films, and it's like just everyone needs to keep in mind safety.
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody wants to get hurt or die on a film shoot.
I think in particular. my approach, at least, when approaching like a potentially dangerous scene to shoot, just I always try and talk to the actors beforehand. It's like, all right, keep like safety first. Like even something as simple as there's a scene where Zach Shannon is driving in Truffle Runners. He's driving through Portland.
Yeah.
And talking to Alan, and I told him if you have to choose between delivering your lines and swerving out of the way of a car, swerve out of the way of the car.
Well, yeah.
It's but I think things like mild annoyances can be overcome for a film, but getting put into peril and it's not worth it.
Yeah, no, it's not. No.
When we,
I kind of have a story about that, but I'm not really going to talk about it because it's still kind of a project that's happening, sort of. So
oh, it's
I'm going to save that story till we get that one in the can. I
guess you're coming back to this podcast.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like.
Oh no, you have to now.
Okay.
Have you ever fallen off of a stage like during a play?
No.
No?
I have not fallen off of the stage.
Well, you've done better or more lucky than Kelsey Grammer.
Oh well. I've seen it happen. I always try to be very cautious of my surroundings, always, because in film it's always where your mark is, and stage it's the same thing. It's where's my mark. It's like I gotta hit my mark, because if I don't, I could fall off the stage. Oh,
yourself. I remember I've done commission work before where I've filmed musicians playing,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd be on a stage with them. And I remember there was this woman playing an instrument. I forget what it was, maybe a French horn or something. I don't know. But I wanted to get a shot like down the front of the woman so I could get a good shot of her using the keys, or I forget what the instrument was, but using the instrument.
Yeah.
And the only way I could get the shot I wanted is if I stood behind her and filmed downwards. And that there was not much room for me.
Yeah.
And the only way I could get the shot I wanted is if I had my foot completely parallel with the back edge of the stage. And below that, there'd be like a 3, maybe 4 foot drop. So I was kind of anxious about that. What was your first film project?
My first film project was a zombie film.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, yeah. Raise the Dead was the title of the short film, which was a segment of a larger film.
So it's like an anthology project?
Yes, it was like a creep show sort of thing. It was like 3 horror shorts with a wraparound story that tied it all together.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend who I had recently sort of met in Sacramento at the time, who'd gone to film school in LA, and I don't even know how she found out about this film, but she told me she was going to be a zombie, and I basically invited myself. It's like, well, would it be okay if I went along? I would love to be a zombie, and I think she kind of had to check, but so I went to do that, and it was really fun. It had a full face latex mask on that you had to glue to your face. Getting that off was kind of a pain.
That's horrible.
But Richard Mole was in the film.
Who?
Richard Mole. He was the bailiff on Night Court.
Oh.
He was in Terror Train. He was in the cheerleader movie. Anyway, he's done a lot of stuff, but he was in that film. It was an awesome project, and unfortunately, it's just never going to get finished. There were complications of some sort that I'm not fully aware of, and that's never going to get done, even though I think the entire thing's in the can. It's a bummer, because it would have sold, I think, with him in it. He's a good actor. But it got me started in film, though. I have not stopped since.
When did you realize that, oh, I think that film is what I want to do? Like, what was the moment that?
I always wanted to do film. I got discouraged in college because I went to an acting class and they talked about the statistics of what it was about being an actor and trying to make it in the industry. And it's like I don't know. I think it's like 1 or 2% of SAG actors actually make a living.
That's
That's the pretty hard statistic, and I'm like, well, there's so many actors in SAG, and there's so many actors trying to get into SAG. How do you ever get anywhere in the industry?
don't go
And
into SAG
so
unless you have a
I
path.
I kind of just started doing theater and thought for a while that I would just be content to do theater and work for full time for the rest of my life. And then I got a taste of what it was like to do film, and it's like, oh no, 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 we really do want to do film.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do mostly. But I mean, I've been in some significant projects of sorts. Nothing really major. I do mostly independent stuff, but I'm totally content with that.
I was. I forgot how I figured this out. Or,
Shouldn't say totally, but
I hear you.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure. You'll get plenty, even in independent work. You'll get plenty of projects that you'll really be proud of.
Oh, I have. I've been in lots of projects. Some of them aren't done. Some of them may never get done. But I'm. It's weird lately how things take so long to get out of post. They're just years.
Oh, absolutely.
Badass Monster Killer. I think it took him 3 years to finish that. 3 or 4.
And that was after you repped.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was mostly CGI. I mean, he had a lot of work to do on that, but it came out amazing. I saw it for the second time last weekend at Lovecraft, and I'm watching the film, and I was just in awe. It's like it's an amazing film. It looks really good, and it's really funny, and it looks very Portland. It's a very dark city. It looks very comic booky, but when you look at this, it's like that could kind of pass for downtown Portland. I'm like, you don't have the bridges in the scape, but the buildings kind of work.
Yeah.
Um, and then I did a film called 10 Days in a Madhouse that actually had a limited release in the U.S. and New York. It's actually an Oscar contender this year. It's kind of a big.
Really?
It's like one of those sleeping dogs. Not a lot of people have heard about it, but it's kind of a significant film in its own right.
That's pretty crazy.
I unfortunately haven't seen it yet. I haven't. It's streaming online, and I don't ever watch anything at home because I can't stay awake long enough to do that. So my schedule is a bit chaotic these days. So at some point I will actually watch that film. I have a small part. I only have 3 lines. I play the grand jury foreman.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the pivotal point in the film, and I was told by the director that when people watch it, they cry. I was like,
Really?
yay, I have one of those moments. So yeah, I'd love to get it on my acting reel. It'd be nice to have footage.
Your Honor, fry the bitch.
No, 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 no. But it's the first film I've been in that I think has. Actually, I can't even say that it's been on multiple screens at the same time because I don't think that's the case. I think it was like a city by city sort of release.
Mm-hmm.
They had like Chicago screening. There was one in New York. There was one in North Hollywood. I was really bummed they didn't have one in Portland. I figured they would at least have a cast and crew screening because I've always had that in any film in over 50. I've always had that opportunity. So it's kind of weird not to get that, but
That's weird.
whatever,
And it was shot in Salem, you said? Or,
Yeah, we shot a lot of it in Salem.
what locations did you use? What passes as 19 or
Well,
1800s
they
New York?
used a hospital down there
Mm-hmm.
for the insane asylum, I believe. Passed as New York, and then we used a building downtown. It's kind of an office building of sorts, but it had old offices in it, and that's where we shot the courtroom scenes. Um, yeah, and I mean and that project. I mean they had a rough road to get down to finish that film, and I'm actually really glad and amazed that they actually got it finished. So I'm proud of them. They had all kinds of weather issues and sickness in the cast, and just a lot going on with that. So
It can be tough.
making films is very tough. So I'm glad to see it's out there. And I know he's got more projects in the works as well. So. Yeah, I mean, my biggest things other than that in Portland is I did a little bit of extra work on Portlandia, and I've done some music videos, and I did a little bit on the librarians. Mostly independent film stuff, though.
I got you.
Fun stuff, fun projects.
I'm in the last couple of years, I've become a pretty big fan of Clerks. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw that you share credit with Marilyn Gigliotti.
Well, yeah, I do sort of.
Sort of?
Clerks is one of my favorite films. I love
Me
that
too.
film.
Me too.
I was in a film called Mondo Sacramento 2. This is how Marilyn comes in. I was in a film with Lynn Lowry, who's a scream queen. She's been in lots of. Lynn Lowry was in Shivers. She was in The Crazy. George Romero's The Crazy. She's done lots and lots and lots of stuff, and she's been doing a lot recently. She and I played in a scene together, reenacting serial killer Dorothea Puente from Sacramento. Um, and through that, this other filmmaker in Sacramento met us both, or somehow met me, and cast us in a feature film that he wrote.
Nice.
He had cast Lynn as my wife, and he had cast Marilyn as another character in the film. It's on IMDb, but nothing's ever happened with the film. We have a poster. He wanted to film it. It was a matter of getting funding. Nothing's ever really happened with it. I don't know if it ever will. Maybe it will. It'd be nice if it would. I should actually email him at some point and ask him.
Oh, absolutely.
I've run into Lynn several times. I saw her at Crypticon a couple of years ago at a film premiere that I went to up there. We keep in touch and would like to work together again at some point. And she works with independent filmmakers. A lot of people do. And they're not. Yeah, it's definitely a doable thing to get people out there with some recognition in your films.
Did you share any? Did you share any scenes with Marilyn Gigliotti, or did you?
No, we didn't actually ever filmed anything because that was those film credits in a film that was not yet shot. Or yeah.
Oh wow. I just figured it was shot and then got kind of limboed.
No. He just put it out there as kind of a teaser, because at that point, so I don't even know how it got onto IMDb, really, but they've kind of gotten lax in their requirements these days.
Wow.
So yeah, it's called Make Believe Time. It was a great script. I really enjoyed it a lot. I was really excited about playing that character. But you never know. I mean, things come around as they do.
I was so nervous about when I was putting Truffle Runners on IMDb.
Yeah.
I was nervous about the requirements that I had to have send them a link to some website to show them it was really happening. So I think I sent them the Facebook page for Truffle Runners. And
see, it used to be back in the day you could not get a film onto IMDb unless your film screened in an accredited film festival.
Really?
And that was the thing.
Wow.
That was the criteria as the base minimum to get in, was to be in an accredited film festival that was accredited by, I don't know, the Filmmakers Association or whatever, I'm not even sure. But that was part of what I loved about working in Sacramento, is because we had an accredited film festival right there, and we did a 10 by 10 film challenge, and they did a music video film challenge. And all that was part of the festival, so we were accredited. We were part of an accredited festival. And then I was in various short film projects that got accepted into that film festival on their own right, just not as part of a competition, but they submitted with films from throughout the world, and they got accepted because the quality was good. So that's.
And what was this called again?
The Sacramento International Film and Music Festival.
Film and Music Festival.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite festivals down there. They're kind of it's a great festival. It's not as big as it used to be, but they have a great selection of films. There's a lot of good filmmakers in Sacramento. A lot of award-winning filmmakers down there as well.
Nice.
But I still love living in Portland. I love working here. I love living here.
What's one question I forgot to ask earlier? Did you ever get a chance to meet Marilyn Gigliotti, or did that just never?
No, we're just Facebook friends. Just Facebook friends. Hopefully someday we will. Maybe someday we'll have a chance to work together.
She seems like a really nice person.
She does, yeah. She definitely does.
Every so often on her professional page, she'll post something, and maybe it's immature of me to do this, but occasionally I like to make some reference to that 37 line from Clerks. Like, oh, she like posted a video of her or a picture of her playing dominoes, and I wrote, "How many dominoes have you knocked down? How many?" And she replied, "Ha ha, very funny." So I decided to stop.
I'm excited about the remake they're doing, the new
Oh,
Clerks films and stuff.
oh, the shooting clerks.
Yeah.
I'm. Me too. I've gotten in touch. Actually, a producer on that. Like, I think he said I would comment every so often
Yeah.
on the shooting clerks page, and
Actually,
he'd send me a message or he'd send me a friend request. The producer.
my first job in Portland, when I actually had to get one after living here for almost a year without having to have a job, it was working at 7-Eleven by the airport, and that
Mhm.
place was so friggin' insane. I was like, this place is like Clerks on steroids.
Really? Wow.
I'm like, it would be really fun to do a sitcom or something, or a film or a short even about that scenario, because it's so crazy and such bizarre customers there and such bizarre employees and just so, I mean, I used to just run trying to keep up with people
Wow.
because it was a gas, it was a convenience store and a gas station.
Oh, that's just exhausting.
And here we have, you've got all these people running back to the airport trying to get gas, and they're pissed off because they can't pump their own gas because it's a state law, and you've got one person trying to help 12 people at the pumps at the same time, while and at lunch you'd have to cover both the store and the pumps.
Mm.
So I'd be running to the store to cash, ring somebody up and run out to start somebody's gas and go ring somebody up and run back. It was like crazy.
That sounds exhausting.
Um,
Does watching Clerks now give you like post-traumatic stress flashbacks of that job?
no, Clerks was way chill compared to that job. They had it easy, man. Like,
Yeah, they closed the job twice, closed the store down like twice.
Yeah.
One for a funeral, one for a hockey game. Did you have any Randall figures that worked with you, or were you the Randall figure to someone's Dante?
oh, I don't know.
Not quite that
No.
kind of relationship.
No.
When'd you meet Myra?
I met Myra shortly after I moved to Portland, which was a little bit over 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of moved up here based on a conversation with a talent management company up here, and I joined that talent management company and moved up here. And Myra was a part of their roster, basically. We took classes together. We had classes every Saturday for acting and modeling. And I met Myra and several other actors there. It was kind of funny because I found my own film projects here when I first got here.
Mm-hmm.
I found a couple of independent film projects and got involved with that. And so all of a sudden, my agency is telling their actors who are frustrated because they can't get film projects to come talk to me. If you want to get projects, go talk to West. And so Myra was one of those people, and I actually got her cast in some things, and then she's gotten me cast in some things, because, a lot of times you'll get cast in a project, or, I'm looking for other actors. It's like, oh, what are you looking for, It's like, well, I know somebody who does that, or who can fit that part, or...
Didn't she give you the lead on Truffle Runners?
She probably told me about the project. I don't even remember how that worked out.
It's been a few years.
I think she probably auditioned first, and because I remember I was in Sacramento, and I came back to audition for you from after my trip. Yeah, we've done quite a bit together. And it's the best thing that came out of that agency was me, the people that I met there, Myra being the biggest one. There's several other people that I know there that I'm still friends with, and then they're how I got 10 Days in a Madhouse.
Oh, really?
And they randomly got us on 10 Days in a Madhouse because they were the only agency in town open that day. Because I think it was like coming up on Christmas or Thanksgiving or something weird. And so here they're desperately trying to cast this film, and they're the only agency in town. And so they sent all their actors out, and we got cast. It was kind of awesome.
Was that the same one that had Jordan Yaroslavsky as well?
Who?
Jordan Yaroslavsky. Was that take two? Or was...
No, Take Two was the agency after that. That was a different... No, I did not get that through Take Two.
I gotcha.
But even that was weird because at one point Pima turned around and told me not to work on 10 Days of Madhouse because they were having issues with something behind the scenes. I mean, communication was really bad, and I literally got a call. I don't know, it was like at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night, saying, "Hey, can you be in Salem tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock to film?" And I was like,
Oh God.
"Sure, I will see you there." It's like, well, I mean, I've been working in film projects for free off and on my whole career, so why not go work on a film project that might actually get done and get in theaters if there's a chance I might not get paid?
Yeah.
Exposure can be a lot.
You said it's an Oscar contender now, right?
Well, and I like to have the experience on those types of sets. I mean, a lot of people. My IMDb, I have like 30 something credits on. I've done over 50 films in total. And that's just films, straight films, between features and shorts. On top of that, I've done, industrials, music videos, various. I've been on talk shows and different things here and there.
You worked with Smosh, didn't you?
But a lot of people will look at my resume and they'll go, "Oh, well, that's all independent stuff." It's like I might be working on independent stuff, but I've been working on independent stuff that people who are professionals in the industry. I mean, award-winning filmmakers that work at television stations and stuff. It's like they're running professional sets. It's like I know how to work on a professional set. So it's kind of the whole industry to me. Sometimes it's just a mystery.
Yeah.
Because every set that I'm on, I always get complimented on how professional that I am and how prepared that I am and how nice I am to work with. And I most times end up working with people again, and I love that. I'm like,
doesn't hurt that you're a good actor.
I guess so. They keep telling me I am. I don't think I'm the best actor. I do my best, and I think I've grown a lot in the last couple of years. It's like the more you do, the better you become.
Well, no matter. Sometimes I catch myself kind of like comparing my work to the work of other people, and thinking, "Oh, good God, I got so much to do." But then I think, and I think this can apply to anyone. I think no matter how good I am, there's always going to be 100 people better than me, at least.
Yeah.
So I'll try and be better, but there's always going to be better people, so I might as well just enjoy myself.
Well, I mean, the thing about acting too, a lot of acting comes from life experience. So the more experience you have in life, the more you have to draw on as an actor. It's like what kind of character do you need? It's like I've known that character, I lived with that character, or that was that was my coworker. I can totally portray that because I know what you're talking about. I understand what you mean. I'm like bipolar, drunk. Alcoholic, bipolar, mental depression. I know people that have all those conditions. I know. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's that's a good point. That's one thing I've never really been able to do myself. I gave up ever wanting to be an actor because I'm not good. But I was a couple days ago. Ben and I went to Powell's in Beaverton. Bryan Cranston showed up and was giving a speech and like doing a Q&A about his life.
Yeah.
And have you seen Breaking Bad? The show?
I've only seen a couple episodes.
Couple episodes?
Yeah, I haven't. I'm so far behind on television stuff of all sorts. I
gotcha. Well, basically, Breaking Bad.
I know what it is. I know totally what the show is about. Yeah.
It's a teacher turns into this badass gangster.
Yeah.
And he has these moments where he goes from like 0 to 6, like 0 to I'm gonna kill you 60. And someone asked him like, how did you prepare for this character, Walter? What experiences or what did you draw on to create this character that can go from this timid, sweet high school teacher to Scarface, and he started telling this story about how he had a girlfriend when he was younger, and he knew she was using drugs, but he never caught her, but the way she acted, and she had this like really erratic, ragey personality, and it was freaking him out, and and uh, he goes up to her. He's thinking, okay, I've had enough of this. So he tells her, look, uh, I'm breaking up with you, and she says no. She just says no.
Yeah.
She says no to him, and no, you're not.
She's gonna catch you.
And he's like, wait, what do you mean? You're not moving out. But apparently there's some developments, and he ends up leaving her, and he moves across the country, and he gets like an apartment in New York.
He had to move far away.
Yeah. Luckily for him,
Yeah.
a couple months later, out she comes, and she starts like stalking him. She starts calling him at night. She's like, you shouldn't have left me because I'm gonna kill you. You don't know where this is gonna come from. You don't know what's gonna happen. But I'll kill you, or I'm gonna hire someone. But you're gonna die soon.
Yeah.
You're gonna die soon. And he'd constantly, like, this went on for like months, and he constantly his life being threatened. And then one day he calls this chick up. Because he knows that she loves his ex-girlfriend is nuts, but he knows that her weakness is she loves her sister and her mother very much. And he's like, okay, I have all this answering machine tape of you threatening to kill me and threatening to have me killed, and now this has to stop right now, or I'm sending these tapes to your family, and they will know how you've been acting. And then she starts screaming at him, give me my tapes! Give me those tapes! And the way he's told the story, this is how he told the story. She shows up at his apartment, and he starts beating on the door really loud, screaming, give me the tapes, Brian!
Oh, yeah.
And he just like punching the door. So he calmly, he says he felt nothing. He gets up, walks out, and didn't feel anger, no anxiety. He had been feeling anxiety, but at the moment he didn't. He goes over, he opens the door, and he brings her in, and he's walking with her and talking to her, and he walks her over to where the brick wall is in his apartment, and all of a sudden he grabs his girlfriend, or his ex-girlfriend, and just starts slamming her head against the brick wall over and over and over again. And then like 10 times he slams this chick's head against the wall. He lets go. She slides down, and she's dead on the ground. And like when he like falls down and falls asleep, and then he wakes up, and she's nowhere to be seen. But he realizes that her visit to the apartment was a dream, and he was like shaken because he realized that he had the capacity to do that.
Yeah.
Because of how anxious and how angry she had made him feel.
No, I had a really bad roommate situation when I left.
Mm.
I let friends move into my house that became basically, I mean, just horrible people. They literally acted like they owned my house. They started stealing my stuff. They would scream at me. They would scream at my family. It was horrible. I had to move out.
That sounds. Why do people have to treat each other like this?
I don't know. I think they were tweaked out on drugs, partly. They just were so irrational, crazy, accusing me of stealing stuff as they were stealing everything that I owned. I mean, they stole clothes, my grandmother's keyboard, just statues out of my backyard.
It's ridiculous.
It was nuts. I kind of the same thing as I have to get away from here now. I can't be around because they stalked me after they left. They're literally on the corner watching me do yard work as I'm trying to get my house ready to sell and get the hell out. And yeah, it was crazy. I always wanted to do a short film about that whole thing.
And I'm sure you probably have used that experience in your performances at some point.
Not that one in particular, no.
But Cranston says that whenever his character, like, because the character often goes from like a calm exterior to on the verge of ripping someone's head off. He says that's the moment he takes. That's the moment that he uses this experience with his
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
girlfriend. He takes that and he
Yeah.
thinks of that
Yeah.
and uh, and that's something that can only come from that's something that can only come from an actor. I've tried giving people cues because as Geoff says something sad to me. They ask me to do that, and I'm like, okay. The AIDS epidemic killed a lot of people, and they start laughing.
Okay.
So I think it has to come from something the actors actually experienced, rather than what's like what is what's your favorite on-set experience? Like, not in terms of how a project turned out, but like, what's your favorite thing that's ever happened on a set of a project?
Favorite thing that's ever happened on a set?
Yeah, like something that you didn't expect, like a.
I don't know how to. I don't know that there's anything like that that really comes to mind. Sometimes the fun's just the sets you get to work on. Locations can be really fun.
Oh yeah.
I've got to work on a tugboat and I got to work at the coast. It's yeah, locations are fun.
Wasn't wasn't the boat wasn't there an issue with the boat where like, you were stranded on it all night or something?
No, we just shot on it all night. We weren't stranded.
Oh,
Like,
okay,
we just
gotcha.
we spent a lot of nights on that boat filming.
And that's a project Myra was also in, right?
Yeah, she had a small part in that and had a film shoot one night till the wee hours of the morning in the freezing cold in December. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, that film's still not done. Hopefully that will sometime materialize as well. I don't think we got the whole thing in the can, but he thinks he might have enough to put together a film of sorts, so we'll see how that goes. Um, yeah, I play a demon hunting priest in that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I drink and swear and smoke and I hunt demons.
I think I've seen a picture of you in a
Collar, yeah,
yeah.
that was fun. Going around town wearing a priest collar, going to restaurants and drinking and stuff.
Oh here's a
Because
discount.
we get
buddy.
off a shoot and go stop at a restaurant. I'm like, yeah, I've still got my collar on. I don't care. But yeah, we shot in Astoria. We shot in this boat in St. John's. We shot at the cemetery in the middle of the snow. We shot at Pittock Mansion.
Wow.
In the grotto.
I
And
love the grotto.
some other places around. Yeah.
Did you like step up and did you film inside of that chapel at the grotto? Because there's like a chapel.
Well,
next
there's
to
a
the gift
cave,
shop.
sort of ish. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of.
Oh, the cave.
The
With
little altar thing. Yeah.
yeah. And there's like each side they have.
And
like
up on the
peasant
cliff, we went
tables.
up on the cliff and wandered around up on top of the cliff, up by
Mhm.
the monastery, and filmed up there a little bit. And
I love the grotto. It's such a beautiful place.
it is. I want to go. I want to go for Christmas when all the lights are out.
Oh, me too.
It's not far from my house. I live not that far from there.
Do you go to IKEA a lot? Because I think that's over near where the airport.
It's near me. I haven't been there. No, I don't go there a lot. There no.
Pretty cheap. Not gourmet, but pretty decent meals for.
Oh yeah,
Dirt cheap.
I haven't. It's one of these. I mean, it's right by where I work. Actually, I just haven't been over there. One of these days. They have great candles too. We bought a lot of candles there for our film shoot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had candles all over the interior of the boat. We had this one scene where we kept stopping the camera and lighting different candles so it looks like the candles light up my path.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a cool film. There's a lot of special effects in there when it's yeah. I need to hit him up again for some footage. He's like, I don't have any, but yeah, you do. He showed it when he left. He had a going away party from coworkers at Leica. Mrs. James McPherson, the filmmaker on that one. And there was enough footage in there I could totally just take one of those clips and use it in my acting reel. It would be fun. Like there's a whole scene in the cemetery with my children where he's gonna ghost in my children's figures and.
Hmm? So you're a priest with children.
Well, I had children.
before you became.
Yes.
I gotcha.
I was married and had kids, but they all got killed by demons.
Uh,
Killed by demons.
and that's what gave you your
The
calling.
impetus of, well, yeah. I think I was already fighting them, but now I'm a hardcore fighter because I have no family. I have nothing to lose anymore.
God, is there a please? I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but I'm just imagining you filling up like those pump action super soakers with holy water,
Yeah.
or just taking one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That might make it cheesy, like one of those neon green,
Yeah.
and yellow and orange.
Yeah. Also, I did a feature film right after I moved here. I did a film in Sacramento, and I traveled back to do it called Squat,
Mm-hmm.
which is like it's kind of a white trash dark comedy. That he just did, I think, the third edit on that he just came out with. So hopefully that'll be done soon and come out. He's gonna try to festival that.
Squat.
Yeah, it's called Squad. I have a nice character in that. Play a hick.
Ah, nice. Did a southern accent and everything?
Oh yeah.
Nice. And that was the first thing you worked on here? Or
No, that was actually a Sacramento project. Now, the first thing I did here, the very, very first thing I did here was called The Mirror Game with Jason Hawkins at Gravestone Entertainment. I had a little bit part playing a zombie in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing was Guignol Fest, which is where I met Jamie from England, and that's where we started making the film about the demon hunting priest. That was a result of doing the Guignol Fest film. Yeah, meeting him and doing Guignol Fest led to lots of stuff because that's where I met Dylan, and that's what's led to lots of plays and other film projects because of the people in his circles that he works with and I've become friends with.
I like Dylan. He seems like a decent guy.
He's an awesome guy. I like him a lot. And I love all the people that he works with. They're all. I mean, John Marble, who writes and directs and acts, and I mean Kate and Jeanette and Montetre and
I like
the whole
Montetre.
the whole crew is just awesome. And there's some I wish would come back that I worked with in other shows. Although Eric Cash, who is in Terror Angel's Horn, is going to be one of the co-hosts of Guignol Fest this year. He's a really funny comedian, so that'll be fun.
Oh, nice.
He's going to co-host with Una, who was she's in Shock Opera.
Was she the spider?
Yes.
I remember
She's the Black Widow.
The Black Widow.
She's also Glenn, one of the members of the Alice Cooper band.
Oh, she is?
Yes, she's one of the band members.
I did not notice that.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to tell her you didn't even realize she was both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her big part. She's Glenn, and then she turns into the Black Widow. Yeah, they're fun.
Is she the main one that's usually with Alice? Because there's like Alice spends a lot of time with that one band member, but then the other ones come in. If I remember right,
I'm trying to remember how the script, which.
I think it was July when I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he hangs out with Dennis a lot. Young Vincent and Dennis hang out a lot.
Okay, I got you.
And then Glenn's the other one. Glenn's yeah. Yeah. Friday. We're doing that Friday.
Oh.
Yeah.
You play multiple characters in that.
I play Alice Cooper's dad, and I play his manager, Shep Gordon. And then I'm a victim of the Black Widow.
When I saw that, I just assumed it was a Alice Cooper drug trip that I was watching happen.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, he's imagining Shep getting killed.
Yeah, no, I actually might change my costume up for that this round too. I was gotta go look in my closet to figure out what I want to wear for that character. I might add a hat or something to make it a little bit more distinct.
I gotcha.
Because I didn't have the Shep wig on. That was part of it. I didn't have the Shep wig on.
Oh.
For that scene. Which is that makes that character is the hair. Like.
I gotcha. I didn't notice that, but it was kind of dark in the theater too.
Yeah, I took the hair off for that completely just to make it different, but. Analog's a different space too. It'll play different there.
It's the Funhouse had a very Funhouse feel to it.
Yes, and it's quite small. The analog's bigger space. It's more open.
It's I don't think I've ever been to the Analog.
I've only been there once. I saw a show there a while back.
Is it a nice venue?
Yeah, it is. It's very cool. Nice bar downstairs, nice stage upstairs, a little bar upstairs. I'm looking forward to it.
My favorite part of your performance easily was when you were Alice Cooper's dad.
Yeah.
For some reason that tickled me. Uh, and I can't remember what your lines were, but there was something you said that just had me laughing.
Okay.
It it was like so, it was so church daddy.
Yeah, I think that scene kind of throws people for a minute because it's so television sitcom.
But I love it.
I know, but it's like it takes people who it's like, what the hell? It's like the television sitcom. Okay, so I see. It's like okay, got it. Yeah, so you're a total TV dad. All right, I have TV dad. I'm like,
I love that part, and you were great at.
Well, I love how the one response of Chaz Chandler always gets a laugh. It's just stupid. He's asked me who's the bassist of somebody, and just the way that I deliver the line gets a laugh every time, which is kind of fun. It's like duh, like you don't know. Oh my god,
It's great. It's a great performance, and I, God, it's. If I could make it out, I'd love to watch it again. It was a good it is a good show.
yeah. I wish you could see the full production as it is with
Oh,
the
yeah.
videos and stuff. They posted the one video recently. We recreated an Alice Cooper concert video
Mm-hmm.
for a concert that never got recorded. Alice Cooper band way back in the day performed in L.A. at a place called the Cheetah. It did not get recorded, so for the purposes of our play, we've recreated their concert and recorded it.
Oh wow.
And it's a scene that plays during the film, which is really a fun scene.
Wow.
I'm actually in that scene as two different characters in the audience.
Really?
I
Oh.
kept playing extras in the film shoots,
Ha!
which is really random. I don't know. I played. There's one video where I'm two different people in it. That one I'm two different people in it. Then I played Roger Waters in one video, which we don't have in the film. And then I've got a really nice scene as Shep in a video.
God.
It's a really nice scene talking to the band on the road. Followed by a slapstick scene that we recreated, kind of a tribute to a Marx Brothers scene in a film.
It sounds like a full-bodied show.
Well, yeah, Dylan's a clever guy, man. He's a great writer. I mean,
Definitely, he's
writers amaze me because
Smart
I can't I love what people write and I just don't know where they get all the ideas from. It's like wow, how do they think of that?
he's great at it. I remember is one thing I don't maybe I'm not. It's not something we're supposed to know for sure, but there are two Alice Coopers in the play. There's Montague and then there's Hillerman.
There's actually three.
There's three.
Yeah, there's young Alice Cooper, which is the story. There's Dylan, which is Mirror Alice, which is the dark reflection of his life.
So he's like,
And then later in the play, there's an actor who plays old Alice Cooper at the big awards ceremony. They got a big award at like Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or something, and so Jackie plays old Alice and comes out and does that closing monologue for us as old Alice, which is Montetre's character older. Dylan's just the dark mirror version of Alice.
so he's like the he's like kind of his insecurities, basically, or like a
It's probably open interpretation. It depends on how you want to look at it. It could the whole opening scene about going deeper down the rabbit hole. It's like this thing's like pulling him into the darkness, sort of thing. You know, it's kind of hard to say. Yeah, it's cool. I haven't been able to see the whole thing myself. It's different to see it on paper than to watch the whole thing actually up. We almost got to see the whole thing the other day, but we started running out of time during tech, so we had to start truncating stuff and just doing Q to Q. But they recorded the whole thing. I'll get to see it on film at some point.
Good. Good. Uh, do they have like multiple cameras in the audience, or?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
multiple performances, multiple cameras, close-ups on some stuff. Hopefully, we'll be doing some future productions. Or there's been talk of doing a show possibly in LA for one night, which would be amazingly fun. I would love to go to LA for a night and do it.
Oh, absolutely.
With any luck, we might be able to go to Phoenix, where Alice lives, and do it in Phoenix for a night.
Oh, wow. What's it like? What's it like to play a real person as opposed to a fictional one? Do you feel like any more social or not moral obligation to get it to perform a certain way than you do for a fictional character?
Well, of course. I mean, you want to relay that person's character, and that's you, there's someone to compare you to.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, not like I'm dead on Shep Gordon. I tend to more allude to characters than be, I don't know, because it's the whole thing is an interpretation of Alice's life. I mean, there's things there that aren't real or imagine scenarios of real events that might have happened or things that we think happened. Um, but yeah, I mean, real characters, you're portraying somebody who's real with a lot of times in film and theater, you're playing. I get to play original characters, which are fun because it's open to my interpretation. It's
Mm-hmm.
how or our interpretation jointly between the director and myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I haven't played a lot of real characters. I played one in stage, but it was not really major. So yeah,
Lou Adler.
this has been my year for playing real people for some reason.
You played. Well, you played Lou Adler, who was a producer on the Rocky Horror
Executive
Picture
producer of Rocky
executive
Horror. Yes, yeah.
producer.
He was the guy with the bucks. Yeah.
So you're playing him, and I guess I don't know how much you're allowed to discuss. I want to respect whatever restrictions there are. Uh, this is kind of a revenge film against him, or a film
It's
that
not a revenge film. It's basically pointing out a fact about the whole scenario about how things have played out in
what's
regards to Rocky Horror.
what's like the larger issue the grievance with that this film is trying to point out. Like, what's the grievance?
Well, I mean, the main thing with the whole Lou Adler Rocky Horror is that Lou Adler saw Richard O'Brien's Rocky Horror in London back in the day, and he brought it to the United States, and then he turned it into a film.
Mm-hmm.
In that process, Lou Adler's made tons of money. Richard O'Brien is not. Lou Adler is now doing a remake of Rocky Horror for television, and he's completely doing it without Richard O'Brien's input and without giving Richard O'Brien any of the financial reward for doing that.
That's not good.
Well, no, it's like Richard. I actually just watched a video of Richard recently at Clinton Street that was put up during our performance of him talking about he just hasn't made a lot of money. Um, it's just sad. I don't like
Yeah.
to see people taken advantage of. It's like he was. I mean, Rocky Horror is famous to this day, and it was a beautifully clever piece of work, even on stage before the film. And the film was a brilliant translation of the stage.
Yeah, I saw it when I was 8 years
Um,
old for the first time.
yeah,
Great, it was a great movie.
yeah, it's still to this day it's very popular. Which is funny because somebody was asking me why they think that is. I said because it always has. Rocky Horror's whole premise basically is that you should be free to be who you are without judgment. Basically.
Oh yeah.
Oh, um,
It was. I think it's ahead of this time to some degree, as well as ahead of the time in the '70s.
yeah, I guess when it first came out, it wasn't very popular, which is kind of they probably just thought it was weird, but I love it still.
Oh, it absolutely
It's
is
great
It's amazing.
camp sci-fi. It's like
Oh yeah.
I actually watch it still. I actually have gone to see it twice at Clinton Street this last month when they do live cast, and it's been sold out. The first night I went, they had to turn people away.
Wow.
I was like, I'm glad to see it's still that strong. It's like, why do we need a remake?
I don't know.
It is weird portraying somebody in a when that person would look at that and possibly be offended and consider that I might be portraying them in a bad light.
Yeah.
However, it's the truth of the situation, and there's nothing wrong with that for me as an actor portraying that. So,
Do you think he's going to see it?
oh, if this actually gets done and out there, there's a good possibility. I mean, the plan is to send this to every Rocky Horror fan site in the world. Um,
So he'll probably be made aware of it.
I mean, I don't know. It depends. It depends. I mean, I don't know how that whole viral thing goes. It's like if you know how to use social media appropriately and get some looks on it, it could go. Yeah, I don't know if the
That is
Rocky
incredibly hard to do.
if the Rocky Horror fan sites start sending it out and playing it, then yeah, it's gonna get a lot of exposure. It might be one of the things that people might actually play prior to Rocky Horror
Mhm.
screenings, which
Yeah.
happen throughout the world still, which would be kind of cool, sort of.
That would be.
Yeah, I have a really hard time. I don't know if I can watch the remake.
I I think is it because of your love of the original or the
It
feeling of
is.
injustice?
It kind of is. Because I mean, most remakes, I'm like, I could care less about. Yeah, whatever. The Ghostbusters, I haven't seen it. I could care less one or the other. Some people said it's great. Some people said it sucks. I don't know.
I thought it was
Eventually,
mediocre.
I'll get around to it, maybe. But I'm like, Rocky Horror is in its original form. It's perfect. It's perfect.
I love it.
Like, you know,
I can't.
I don't want to see them change it. I mean, why do you need to? It doesn't need a new audience because the audience is still there. I'm still seeing young people come see Rocky Horror all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
I don't think that audience is going to dry up.
the
anytime
message
soon.
is, I mean, it may look dated, but it's 80s ish, 70s, 80s, which is still a thing anyway. It's like it's retro and cool, and it makes it like old sci-fi. It's like,
Eventually, everything's going to look dated, but it's if it's dated or not doesn't matter. Is it good? And Rocky Horror Picture Show is good.
yeah, I love it. I love the movie. It's not lost its charm by any means.
Ben sent me an audio clip of God, what's her name? Laverne Cox singing "Sweet Transvestite,"
Yeah.
and I thought she was I thought she was fine. She uh, they, I don't think she was doing anything to specifically disrespect the original. But honestly, she has nothing on Curry. Tim Curry.
Well, no, that's the thing. I mean,
she has nothing
you
on
know,
Curry.
the casting in that role right now at Clinton Street is very similar to the remake of the film, and it's like that's totally cool. I mean, live. That's the whole thing is meant for you to interpret it as a live cast. You cast it however the hell you want to, but the film remains the same. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You cast the stage show because you can do a live stage production. It's like why remake the movie? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't really have any interest in watching it. I don't know. It's probably the first film I've ever really said that about. Like, you know?
Well,
Although Ghostbusters is pretty. Actually, Ghostbusters is kind of the same thing. Ghostbusters was brilliant in its original form.
I love Ghostbusters.
The casting was off the hook, perfect.
Oh.
I don't really have any interest in seeing the new film, to be honest.
I have,
Like, you know?
I have seen it, and you know all that controversy. Like people started hurling sexism accusations at people that didn't want to see it, and people that didn't want to see it called the it was ridiculous drama. And I myself, I wrote about on Facebook and stuff. I wrote about my own feelings about it.
Yeah.
I thought it looked so terrible. I ended up going to watch it. Yeah, there were parts I liked, and there were parts that really sucked.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it was mediocre, and it was not worth the level of controversy it got. It was like a build up to nothing.
Yeah.
And the film, I think, is going to be forgotten in a few years, and it's not going to endure the way the original
Yeah.
Ghostbusters did.
Yeah, see, it's hard living in Portland because I rarely go to a multiplex to see anything.
Mm-hmm.
I go to independent film theaters all the time. I see a lot of Clinton Street, and I see stuff at Hollywood Theater,
Oh,
and I never watch anything at home ever. So yeah, it's hard to keep up on. I missed like the newest Star Trek, and I
oh,
missed all kinds of stuff.
oh, I
I
see.
really wanted to see Krampus and the Witch, and
No. Oh, didn't Krampus come out last year?
yeah,
Yeah. I'd like to see those too. I prefer, I have no problem going to the multiplex when I can, but honestly, I prefer theaters like the Hollywood or the Clinton. My favorite theater,
yeah.
if you ever get a chance to go, the screen they have might not be ideal, and I think they have an older digital projector, and you can tell. But the theater itself is my favorite theater that I've ever been to.
Which one?
It's the Elsinore Theater in Salem.
Oh,
It's it's an old-fashioned 1920s movie palace.
oh. Have you been to the Liberty in Astoria?
The Liberty? No.
Yeah,
Is that
1920. It's beautiful.
like a palace?
It's beautiful inside,
Oh,
and they have a British phone booth.
they do?
They told. Oh my gosh, yeah. I had been to Astoria many times and never had been into that theater, and then I actually shot a short film up there one year for part of a film challenge, and so I went back to see it. I think it's called the Action Film. I don't know, but I got to go to the Liberty Theater. It's beautiful inside. It's like gold leafing,
Wow.
and yeah,
I never even heard of it. But
it's right on Main Street in Astoria. If you've ever been to Astoria, you've walked right by it. It's always been closed because I'm usually there during the day.
I've been in Astoria. Ben and I went out to Astoria in February. We went out to go like write a script, and I didn't even notice that place. But I'll have to keep my eyes open. I think in Coos Bay there is a theater decorated as it was when it opened in the 20s. It's called the Egyptian,
Oh,
and they have gold, probably gold leaf and like, Egyptian statues.
yeah. I'd
And
like to go there. That would be fun.
it's, I think it was in Coos Bay. I'm not sure, but a Google search can confirm or deny that. But it's somewhere on the Oregon coast.
We had so few old theaters left in Sacramento.
Mm.
They were all so much decimated down there. I love all the old theaters in Portland.
Oh yeah, we have a good share of them in Oregon, and especially the Portland area.
Yeah, for some reason Sacramento they didn't believe in the value of them, and they just destroyed them. The Crest is the biggest, most beautiful one that's left down there. I think it's like a 750 seat house. I used to know the people that ran that, and that's a whole other thing. Then there's the Guild. Yeah, just not like Portland. I mean, Portland's got Clinton and Hollywood and Baghdad and Laurelhurst and
Oh yeah,
McMinimans and St. John's and the St. John's Twin Cinemas, and yeah, there's lots of theaters. They're beautiful. And they serve beer, which is awesome.
yes. I think there should be some sort of program that just, to this day, you see like pictures of abandoned movie palaces where the roof has caved in or something.
Yeah.
There should be like a charitable foundation that goes to restoring these places and reopening them.
They tore down, apparently the biggest and most beautiful theater in Sacramento was called the Alhambra back in the day. They tore it down to build a Safeway.
That's heartbreaking.
I know it is. Still, I have a friend to this day who refuses to shop at Safeway because of that.
That do we have enough
It's heartbreaking, but back in the 50s, they just didn't. Oh, that's old, let's get rid of it, instead of like, oh, that's old, let's cherish it. You know?
Oh, absolutely. And I get it. You can't keep everything that's old, but if it's old and beautiful and cultural,
the architecture back then, though, the craftsmanship that went into buildings back then is amazing compared to what they build now. So it's
exactly.
like to just destroy that artisanship is just You know, like
Everything is like steel frames and glass panels now.
yeah, slab siding and tieback and
It's yeah, too bad. There should be people that just go to some town that could use something like that and just build a new movie palace if they lost all of their old ones. Just grand opening,
yeah.
like beautiful.
Nobody could afford to build a theater of that. I don't know.
Probably not, but
Yeah.
the the if you ever, I'll send you pictures later. Maybe if you ever go to the Elsinore, the second you walk into the lobby, it is breathtaking. It's like kind of a cathedral presence. There's the archways and everything is stone, and
Yeah.
and this is just the lobby, and then you walk into the theater, and it's
Liberty's got a lot of stone too. It was kind of the same thing. It's yeah.
Mm. One more thing.
Yep.
I forgot to ask. When you're playing all these real people, like what what would it be like if before you went on stage, let's say Shep Gordon walked through the doors, and like, do you think that would affect your performance or
No?
No? Like, how would you feel if Shep Gordon was watching you be Shep Gordon?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess it might make me nervous, might not. It's like I wouldn't change my performance. I know it's not a true portrayal. It's not an exact portrayal of the man by
Yeah.
any means. So I mean, I don't know that I would care one way or the other.
Do you watch Superman for your research?
I watched it. I mean, we've talked a lot about Alice's life and a lot of what's gone on in courses of rehearsals. I mean, Dylan's very knowledgeable about a lot of it.
Oh, I can tell by watching
So
the play.
I mean, we've had lots of discussions, and I've stopped him and clarified points in on the timeline and in history, and like just so I understand what we're talking, you know. So no, it's been really good for that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've invited Alice to come. We'll see.
That'd be cool.
I like knowing people in the audience. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to know that they actually thought enough to come to see it,
Yeah.
to check it out. Of course, it will be on video, and at some point it'll be out there regardless. So
I'm sure some of them will at least see it then.
yeah,
I know
Yeah.
that Dennis guy has responded to him, hasn't he? Or made
yeah. He actually posted about our show. The drummer posted about our show, and Shep and Dylan have engaged a bit via Facebook.
Really?
They've had some conversations of sort of back and forth, comments back and forth anyway. So I mean, Shep he's aware of what we're doing. I think.
He seems like a super Mitch.
Yeah.
Like, really nice guy.
Yeah.
And if you're able to make it, I don't know when this will be up. If it's up after the fact, I do apologize. To the show, when is it?
Oh, Shock Opera?
Yeah.
21st. Is this Friday?
The 21st. This Friday the 21st. This may not make it up before October 21st.
Yeah, well, you know.
Because we're having technical issues and stuff. But our hosting failed and all of our things are offline right now.
Oh, crap. Okay.
But there's that, and I also have to, as a personal note, recommend Supermensch, The Legend of Shep Gordon, about the men West plays. It's directed by Mike Myers, Austin Powers himself, believe it or not.
That's a great film.
It's a great film. It's on Netflix as far as I know. Last time I checked, it was still on Netflix.
Yeah, that's where I watched it.
Check it out. I think you'd enjoy it. Thanks for listening. I'm Geoff Crenshaw.
West Ramsey?
And have a good day.
This is Heavy Set